Welcome to the 2024 State of the Region of Niagara Address, hosted here at John Michael's Banquet Hall and presented in partnership with PenFinancial Credit Union. Thank you for joining us. Your presence means a great deal to us. And there's nothing nicer than seeing so many conversations going on, although I really do appreciate you finding your seat at this time. But it's lovely actually to seeing all of you interacting and networking and connecting with one another. Before we proceed, let us acknowledge that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee people. With gratitude and humility, we acknowledge their enduring connection to this land and offer our sincerest respect to the Indigenous communities, both past and present, for their patience as we all strive to deepen our understanding and honor Indigenous traditions and territories. My name is Mishka Balsam, and I'm with the GNCC. Today's event is made possible through the support of our esteemed partners, including the Grimsby and District Chamber of Commerce, the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce, the Niagara Association of Realtors, the Niagara Construction Association, the Niagara Home Builders Association, the Niagara Industrial Association, and the Niagara-on-the-Lake Chamber of Commerce. Our thanks to all of you, your teams and your colleagues for bringing us all together, and as a special shout out to our volunteers with Canadian Tire Bank, Sarah, Rachel, and Samantha. You make everything so much easier, so thank you for that. And here is a message from the Niagara Association of Realtors.
Are you looking to buy or sell a home in Niagara? Of course you are. You're watching this video. Look, we all know Niagara is the place to be, but do you know who knows Niagara better than anyone? Realtors. Niagara Realtors know Niagara. That is all 12 municipalities, each with their own specific quirks and districts. There is a distinct difference between Welland and Waynfleet. When I say port, you say...
Coburg! Duluth! George! Oh, sorry. I thought you said Fort Erie!
You get the picture. See, Niagara is both blue-collar and white-collar. The grape grower and the grape drinker. Or both. Or both. Niagara is an amazing place to live, work, and play. We are passionate about living here, so we want to see that passion manifest itself in our buyers and sellers. When you use a Niagara Realtor, you are utilizing the experience of someone who wants to set you up for a win. After all, we're going to be neighbors.
Niagara Realtors know Niagara. Use a local Niagara Realtor.
It is our honor to acknowledge Niagara's elected officials and non-elected leaders who are with us today, and we extend a warm welcome to each and every one of them. We have with us Sam Oosterhoff, MPP for Niagara West, and councillors for the region of Niagara. We have with us Frank Campion, Jim Diodati, Sandra Easton, Robert Foster, Shell Ganan, Diana Houston, Laura Ipp, Joyce Morocco, Tim Rigby, Michelle Seaborn, Peter Secord, Matt Sisko, Sal Sorrento, Bill Steele, Tim Whalen, Albert Vitiven, and Gary Zalepa, and the person of the hour, Niagara Region Chair, Jim Bradley. Thank you. I also would like to acknowledge councillors from across all 12 municipalities who have joined us today. It is really a privilege to be here in the same room with all of you. And I also would like to acknowledge Brock University's President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. Leslie Rigg, and Niagara College's President and CEO, Sean Kennedy, for all that you do for the community and all that you do in support of our economy and our workforce. Thank you. We also would like to extend our thanks to the organizations and businesses who make today possible. We are better with you by our sides. And our appreciation goes to our title sponsor, PenFinancial Credit Union, who helps daily Niagara grow for over 60 years. They have made a difference in this community. With 20,000 members and a rich history, their roots are firmly planted in the region. As a values-driven cooperative, they believe the prosperity of their members and their community go hand in hand, as they are on a mission to improve the lives and strengthen the communities. Our thanks go to PenFinancial Credit Union. In addition, we would like to recognize Walker Industries, Algoma Central Corporation, Electra, YMCA of Niagara, Ridley College, Niagara College Canada, BCM Insurance, Crown Electric, Ontario Tourism Education Corporation, Cutelis Furniture, Your TV, Soundbox, and Bell Media, CKTB, and Move 105.7. Thanks for all of your support. And here are two video messages, one from YMCA, followed by one from Electra.
Hey, I seen your help wanted sign. Are you still hiring?
This is where these winding roads have led. I can see a day of gold ahead. Can't be done, impossible, they've said. But I'll get there. I'll get there. I will rise up. I will not fall. I will stand up. I will not fall. I will stay strong. I'm never giving up faith. I will go all the way. This will be the day. This will be the day. This will be the day. I will rise up. I will not fall. I will stand up. I will not fall. I will stay strong. This will be the day.
We can see the world through open eyes and savor all the time before it flies. And every time you wake up, there's a new day that's calling out your name. Come join the game. Well, that's life. Take what comes along the way. That's love. Let it grow stronger every day. There's joy as the days go passing by. There's hope, a better life for you and I. We take our dreams and fly. Together we can try. That's life. Well, some things in this world were meant to be, like living life in peace and harmony. So follow where the road will lead you. Hand in hand we'll make our dreams come true. Enjoy the view. Oh, that's life.
Thank you very much. I wanted to give you just a brief overview of today's format. This event is being recorded and will be available on UTV, and as well as a recording of it will be made available to all of you in the upcoming days. It will feature several highlights. Other than all of us getting together today, we are going to start off with the annual Niagara Impact Awards, which is followed by lunch, followed by the keynote address by Chair Bradley, and then a fireside chat. And at this point, I just wanted to let you know, little bit different than what we've done in the past. We really are looking for your input as well. So you will see some of our colleagues or my colleagues going through the room, actually with a mic in case you would like to ask a question. And for those of you who are really active on social media and really like being at this event, our hashtag for today is the State of Niagara. So hashtag State of Niagara. And at this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Hannah Bowlby, the Manager of Corporate Communication of Algoma Central Corporation, who's actually celebrating the 125th anniversary this year, which is, I think, an extraordinary milestone, as their company is committed to providing reliable shipping solutions in an environmentally sustainable manner. But first, let's watch a brief video from Algoma.
In the heart of Algoma Central's journey lies more than a century of passion and dedication. Our history, however, transcends beyond our vessels, railroads, the cargo we carry, or the individuals who steer the course. It instead encapsulates a dedication forged since 1899, a heritage defined by resilience and unyielding determination. Privileged with the responsibility of sustainably delivering essential goods to local and global communities, we recognize that this journey wasn't paved alone. It is a legacy built by those who came before us, dedicating their careers to shape Algoma into the marine carrier of choice. This is more than a story. It is a celebration of 125 years of peaks and valleys, triumphs and challenges, weathering storms and reaching new horizons. As we share the story of Algoma's legacy, we invite you to witness the spirit, resilience, and passion that continues to move us forward through our vital waterways. As we reflect on our 125-year legacy, it's clear that resilience is not just a principle for us, it's woven into the fabric of Algoma's identity, an identity that continues to fulfill our century-long vision to provide efficient services for our customers, to support our communities, to protect our environment, and to ensure the safest, most inclusive working conditions for our employees. Join us in celebrating not just our history, but the unyielding spirit of our people that propels us forward. Here's to the next chapter of our journey where challenges are met with determination and triumphs are shared by all. Thank you to all members of the Bear family for being part of our story and the reason we continue to be your marine carrier of choice.
Thank you, Mishka, and thank you for having us. Greg Rule, our President and CEO, is under the weather today and could not make it, but has asked me to step in. I've been with Algoma for almost 12 years and the last 7 years in communications. Ironically, I usually work behind the scenes and do not do a lot of public speaking, so bear with me as I speak in front of 400 people. This year, Algoma is celebrating its 125th anniversary. We are extremely proud and excited to celebrate this remarkable milestone and not only recognize the longevity of Algoma, but also the resilience, passion, integrity, and environmental stewardship that has continued to define us throughout the decades. Over the years, we have diversified our business, but marine transportation has always remained at the core of what we do. Today, we have interest in 85 vessels globally, 29 of which operate domestically, and we have a historic 17 vessels currently on order or under construction. 30 years ago, Algoma moved its head office from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario to St. Catharines, and we have called the Garden City home ever since. As we look back on our history, it's crucial to acknowledge the vital partnerships we've forged with the communities we serve, but particularly those within Niagara. This community continues to support us as we navigate challenges and seize opportunities in the ever-evolving maritime landscape, including the first ever Ontario Marine Transportation Strategy that was announced this past October. I would be remiss if I did not give special thanks to Chair Bradley, our Welland Canal mayors, along with their economic development departments, MP Chris Biddle, MP Vance Badaway, and Mishka Balsam and her team at the GNCC for supporting Marine. Niagara is not only home to key marine industry stakeholders like Algoma and Ontario shipyards, but also impacted by a large network of marine businesses. Of course, what brings this all together is the Welland Canal, an engineering marvel that is a vital marine corridor. Our seaway system facilitates the safe and efficient transportation of goods, fostering economic growth for generations. The Welland Canal St. Lawrence Seaway stands as a symbol of innovation and cooperation, showcasing what we can achieve when we unite towards a common goal. Let's not underestimate the impact that the marine industry has on our community. Beyond the commerce and trade it facilitates, marine shipping embodies a heritage deeply rooted in our cultural identity. It's woven into the fabric of our community, providing livelihoods and opportunities for countless individuals and businesses. I want to leave you with one thought. Don't forget about Marine. Represent and defend Marine when government creates regulatory obstacles and makes the Marine mode more difficult, or when people complain that the bridge is up. We need your voice. Algoma is here, and we are proud to call Niagara home, and we look forward to continuing to work together. Thank you.
And we're glad that you're calling Niagara home as well. At this time, we are actually going to move over into our Impact Award presentation. And may I ask the board chair for the Niagara Association of Realtors, Nathan Morissette, to come to the stage to introduce Chair Bradley. Nathan?
Hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure that the Niagara Association of Realtors has had the opportunity to partner with GNCC for this esteemed gathering. And we're particularly honored to play a role in introducing a truly dedicated member of our community, Chair Jim Bradley. Jim Bradley's illustrious career spans decades of dedicated service to the Niagara region, serving as chair for the Niagara region since December 2018. Previously, Chair Bradley served as St. Catharines City Councillor from 1970 to 1977. And for 41 years, which may or may not be my current age, he has been a member of provincial parliament for St. Catharines from 1977 to 2018. During this time, Chair Bradley held numerous senior cabinet roles, including Provincial Minister of Environment, Transportation, Municipal Affairs and Housing, Tourism and Recreation, and Community Safety and Correctional Services. Since being elected in 2018, Chair Bradley and his colleagues on Regional Council have made significant accomplishments, including dedicating resources for shared services, 24% increase in organics diversion from the green bin policy, creating a single transit provider, and expanding rural broadband. Beyond his political career, Chair Bradley has been a pillar of our community, contributing his time and expertise as a teacher with the Lincoln County Board of Education. He's also contributed to Niagara as a hockey and baseball coach, manager and referee, and a longtime member of the Grantham Optimist Club. Today, as we gather to reflect on the progress and aspirations of our region, the Niagara Association of Realtors is privileged to introduce Chair Jim Bradley, an individual whose leadership, integrity, and unwavering commitment to the Niagara region continue to inspire us all. Please join us in extending a warm welcome to the stage, Chair Bradley. Thank you.
Well, may I begin by thanking you very much for that extremely kind introduction this afternoon. I'm delighted to be with all of you as we gather together at events of this kind. I've had the opportunity from time to time as well to be in attendance at some of the states of the communities whether they be cities, towns, or townships that are held across the Niagara region. And it's always nice to see the gatherings that are there. The opportunity for you as well to contact one another, to network in a way that I think all of us like to do so. So I'm pleased to have the opportunity to announce the recipients of the 2024 Niagara Impact Awards. The Impact Awards were created to recognize those individuals, community nonprofit organizations, and private sector businesses who've gone, as I describe it, above and beyond to help improve the quality of life for those of us in our community. With more than 130 submitted nominations, I was moved by the stories of sacrifice, generosity, and innovation that were submitted by their friends, families, clients, customers, and customers of the nominees. I want to congratulate all of the nominees who continue to make a positive impact across Niagara. These nominees and winners should be proud of what they have done for our region, and indeed what they've done for those beyond our region. The Business Award I'll begin with. This year's Business Category Award winner has demonstrated an impressive commitment to community building and fostering civic pride. The Pie Guys Bakery and Cafe on West Street in Port Colborne is renowned for its award-winning baked goods and pies, as well as its community involvement. A little aside here, the chocolate pies are particularly good. I recommend them, though everything is good in there. They actively support fundraisers from selling specially baked poppy cookies for the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 26 to donating proceeds to local organizations like the SPCA, Community Living, and Port Cares. Last year, the Pie Guys faced adversity when their business was vandalized by an individual dealing with mental health challenges. Turning this setback into an opportunity, they launched the I Love Port Colborne campaign, raising nearly $10,000 to help address the growing challenges of mental health, drug addiction, and homelessness in their own community. With a significant media attention, an anonymous donor was able to step forward to match the funds raised by the campaign, resulting in almost $20,000 being directed to Port Cares Community Support Agency. I would like now to call upon Rob Carter and Brendan Swingilly, aka the Pie Guys, to come forward and accept the 2024 Niagara Impact Award for Business, and you don't have to give me a pie for being selected. Thank you once again. In the community nonprofit category, I'm pleased to announce that this year's Niagara Impact Award recipient is the Strong Water Singers from Fort Erie. This Indigenous-led group of women get together weekly to learn and walk together in accordance with truth and reconciliation calls to action. The singers regularly attend retirement residences across Niagara to volunteer their time and energy and spread their heart medicine. They also lend their voices to various organizations across the region to help raise awareness for many different causes. Honorariums received from their performances are pooled to help community members, including single mothers in need, women escaping domestic violence, replacing an elder's cistern, allowing him to have running water again, and finally, supporting men to maintain their sobriety. The continued commitment and dedication of the Strong Water Singers is helping to make a positive impact on the lives of individuals right across Niagara. I'm pleased to invite Sabrina Joanna, Linda Hampton, and Crystal Brandt to come forward to accept the 2024 Community Nonprofit Niagara Impact Award. Please come forward. Thank you to yet another great group in our community. Next is the Youth Award. Moving on to the individual awards, there are 2 awards being presented for 2024. The recipient of this year's Youth Award is 17-year-old St. Catharines resident Valentina Agundo Chachon, who is being recognized for her volunteer efforts with the Jaguar Sports and Social Club, where she serves as a youth leader, mentor, and role model to young girls. Through her actions, which include coaching, playing, and convening the Jaguar Girls Basketball Program, which she oversees, Valentina's leadership is helping to build our community by ensuring that everyone feels welcome and has a sense of belonging. Unfortunately, Valentina is not able to join us today to accept her award as she's away on vacation, thank goodness for her. But I'll be meeting with her in the near future to present her award in person. Please join me in offering a round of applause for the 2024 Niagara Impact Youth Award recipient. The second individual award is being presented to Mark Bastiano, president and owner of Mountain View Building Group in Thorold, who is being recognized today for his dedication to enhancing his community through his ongoing philanthropic endeavors. For over 40 years, yes, 4 decades, Mountain View Building Group has been building award-winning communities and supporting charitable initiatives. Since 2022, Mark has helped to raise $185,000 for Niagara Foundation for Family and Children's Services. We know it as FACS. By committing Mountain View, please a round of applause for that. By committing Mountain View as the title sponsor for the Mountain View Lemonade Day, Mark provided extensive support, including covering campaign expenses, securing additional sponsors, constructing 100 lemonade stands, and ensuring families could participate without barriers. Together, these monies help fund more than 800 camp experiences for underprivileged youth. Lemonade Day for FACS has spread across the entire region and is prompting interest from nearby children's aid societies right across the province. In addition to supporting FACS, Mountain View has made significant contributions to various community organizations, including the new South Niagara Hospital site and Pastoral Mental Health. Mark had intended to join us today, but unexpectedly was called away on business, and I always think that what happens in business, when you're in business, is more important than being here to receive your award, which you'll receive anyway. In this place, join me in acknowledging Nicole Kennedy and Angela Fredrich as they make their way to accept the 2024 Niagara Impact Individual Award on Mark's behalf. Next is the Environmental Award. The Environmental Award bestows recognition on a Niagara resident who demonstrates a commitment and dedication to preserving Niagara's natural environment. Liz Benion from the town of Lincoln is this year's recipient of the Environmental Award. Since moving to Niagara in 2008, Liz has served as a tireless champion for the protection of our natural environment. Her passion for environmental education has made her a welcome speaker at high school classrooms, university lecture halls, and community libraries. It is estimated that she has presented to more than 90,000 students, both here in Niagara and right across the province. Given our limited time, we'll not be able to detail all of her contributions and accomplishments to the environment. However, it's fair to say she's touched communities throughout Niagara. In addition to being the founder of Biodiversity and Climate Action Niagara, Liz has played an instrumental role in the development of the Val Fleming Butterfly Garden in Beamsville, Grand Oak Park Restoration in Grimsby, and has led the charge to plant thousands of new trees on public land across the province. Please join me in acknowledging Liz Benion as she makes her way to accept the 2024 Niagara Impact Environmental Award. The next award is one which has been around for quite a while. It's the T. Roy Adams Award. Roy, as you may remember, was a former mayor of the city of St. Catharines. In fact, I was on city council at that time for part of that, and also was also a member of regional council. He's well known throughout the region, really throughout Canada and abroad, for his service to God, his country, and his fellow citizens. In 2003, Niagara Region initiated a memorial award in his name to honor a resident of Niagara who best exemplifies Roy's values and dedication to community service, a person who sees volunteerism as an integral part of their life. This year, I'm pleased to announce the 2024 recipient of the T. Roy Adams humanitarian award is Colin Strickland of St. Catharines, who is being recognized today for his decades-long commitment to volunteerism and community service. Colin has impacted hundreds in Niagara and globally. He serves as a teacher, ambassador, coach, advocate, fundraiser, and proud supporter of small businesses. He has taken multiple opportunities to work with marginalized and at-risk youth here in Niagara, empathetically supporting them through their unique barriers and opportunities. Over the past 16 years, Colin has personally raised over $22,000 for Movember Canada, expressing and convening support for men's mental health concerns and prostate cancer. In 2019, Colin founded the Corners Run Crew, and that's in St. Catharines. That has a goal of creating a non-competitive running crew who is open to everyone, regardless of ability. The group places a priority on making personal connections over pace, helping them grow and thrive. The result of Colin's vision has seen this small group of 8 neighbors and friends grow into a consistent crew of 85 plus members who gather 3 times a week, along with online following of nearly 5,000 individuals. With the motto of moderate pace, positive space, the Corners Run crew continues to evolve into a powerful social space that welcomes individuals from all walks of life by providing a safe, inclusive environment for sharing, learning, and friendship. The club also starts each run at a local business, ensuring Niagara's economy also realizes some benefits. The Corners has become a local fundraising and advocacy powerhouse, ensuring that many marginalized individuals in Niagara are supported. Colin's lifelong contributions to community have been recognized by many, and his journey is far from over. He embodies the spirit of T. Roy Adams and the commitment to community service and volunteerism. Please join me in welcoming Colin Strickland to come forward to accept the 2024 T. Roy Adams Humanitarian of the Year Award. I didn't mention he's a great basketball player in his day as well. Not to say that day's over, Colin, but I remember watching him playing for Governor Simcoe many years ago and was a top-notch athlete. There's another award. It's called the Community Leader Award. So finally, we gathered here this afternoon to honor an individual whose impact on our community is truly immeasurable. For generations, Niagara has woken up to his voice, not just as a radio host, but as a leader, director, artist, and advocate for countless causes. It was great pleasure that we present the Community Leader Award to Tim Dennis. For over 3 decades, Tim has been a constant and trusted source of local news on 610 CKTB. In an ever-changing media landscape, he has been a beacon of reliability, facilitating open and honest conversations about the most pressing issues in our region. Tim's commitment to keeping Niagara informed goes beyond the airwaves. He's interviewed prime ministers, premiers, and countless local officials, always asking critical questions with a focus on our community. His professionalism and nonpartisanship have made him a trusted voice for the region. But Tim's impact on Niagara extends far beyond journalism. He's been a strong ambassador for Niagara businesses, showcasing industry leaders and entrepreneurs on his show. He's also been a tireless supporter of charities, helping raise tens of millions of dollars for essential services in our region. Tim has used his voice to break the stigma around issues like mental health, homelessness, and food insecurity, advocating for equity-deserving communities, women, girls, and young people. In the arts community, Tim is a dedicated leader, actor, director, and producer. His work with various theaters and productions has enriched our cultural landscape. As a musician, Tim achieved a top 10 album on the country charts in 1985, showcasing his talents well beyond broadcasting. As Tim prepares to retire, I heard that this morning. I was listening to CKTV this morning, a little after 8 o'clock, and got the news that Tim is going to retire. So as he prepares to retire from 610 CKTV, We thank him for his dedication, passion, and unwavering commitment to Niagara. His impact will be felt for generations to come. We're honored to celebrate his achievements today. Please join me in congratulating Tim Dennis, a truly deserving recipient of the Community Leader Award. A well-deserved standing ovation. Now, he doesn't know this, but because he's is receiving this particular award, and also we all regret his retirement, although he doesn't, quite obviously, and his family doesn't, quite obviously. We regret it, but I'm going to ask Tim if he will share with us a few words on receiving this award. Please, Tim.
Wow. Unexpected and inexperienced as I am with public speaking, this is a toughie because it's been a very emotional day. Jim, thank you. You're the only one I know in the room who's been working at this longer than I have. I thank all the people who have been a part of this. It's been an honor to work. Out of 47 years in broadcasting, 40 years have been here in the Niagara region, waking people up and contributing to the community in which I live and work, and my family and my wife is here. My daughter Julie is here. Thank you so much for this. It means an awful lot. I didn't get into this business for anything of this sort, but thank you so much. It means so much to me. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. And on behalf of our partner organizations, congratulations and cheers to all the award recipients and nominees. We're an extraordinary company here today, and Niagara is in the best of hands. So it's wonderful to be here. Let me hand over the microphone to one of Niagara's key organizations, Walker Environmental Group, and to be specific, Darren Fry. Please join me as he's coming to the podium.
Good afternoon, everyone. Having grown up on the shores of the mighty Niagara River in Chippewa, I'm truly honored to be here with leaders, both current and future, that are continuing to help shape this great place we call Niagara. My name is Darren Fry. I'm a project director with Walker, and I'd like to share a quick message with you. Not years, not decades, but for generations, Walker has been providing critical products, services, and infrastructure that have helped Niagara grow and thrive. Whether it's crushed stone for our roads, our bridges, our homes, or waste management services that keep our community clean, or renewable energy facilities that help power our cities, we're continuing to invest in the community to help ensure that the next generation of residents continue to enjoy a safe, affordable, and healthy Niagara. On behalf of Jordy Walker, our president and CEO, and all 1,200 of my colleagues, I'd simply like to wish you a safe and successful 2024. And I believe it's now lunchtime, so bon appetito. Thank you.
If I could ask you to join me in a round of applause for the amazing staff, the great food, and all the service here from John Michael's Banquet Hall. Thank you so, so very much. Woo! What can be more important than inspiring young, flourishing lives to transform our world? Founded nearly 135 years ago, Ridley College holds that vision in all that they do. And here's the message from the headmaster, Edward Kidd, with Ridley College.
Greetings from Ridley College. On behalf of the Ridley community, I'd like to thank the Greater Niagara Chamber of Commerce for hosting today's event, and also congratulate Regional Chair Jim Bradley and all of you who have gathered today as we reflect on and celebrate our contributions to the region over the last year. For more than 134 years, Ridley College has been a proud member of the Niagara community. And for those of you who may not be familiar with Ridley, we are an independent day and boarding school, one of the largest boarding schools in Canada. We're located in St. Catharines, and we have 797 students from junior kindergarten through to grade 12. We have students from all across Canada and others who represent 59 countries from around the world. 2024 marks a significant moment in our school's history as we stand on the brink of completing a $40 million capital construction project. The realization of this grand vision is a testament to the unwavering support and the remarkable generosity of our donors. Thanks to their kindness and the belief in our mission, we continue to offer state-of-the-art facilities, access to cutting-edge resources, and unparalleled opportunities for growth and learning for our students. In February, the first phase of the construction project was complete as we opened the doors to our renovated athletic complex. And I'm standing here in the midst of that right now. The new addition includes a fitness center with dedicated spaces for yoga and spin classes, a 5-court squash center, change rooms, renovations to the Griffith Gymnasium, a physiotherapy clinic, and a new student lounge. Since opening, we have already welcomed the Canadian senior men's basketball team, who are here preparing for the America Cup qualifiers here in Niagara. We also look forward to the potential of partnering with organizations like Squash Ontario, Canada Squash, and White Oaks to bring national and international squash tournaments to the Niagara region. This summer, we will complete the last phase of construction with the spectacular transformation of the historic Eagleton building. It will now become home to new art and performance spaces with a Creative Commons, a Learning Commons, a performance hall, music conservatory, a digital animation studio, and a gorgeous new art gallery. With the unveiling of these spaces, we're not only elevating the Ridley experience for our students, but we are also opening our doors to the Niagara community for people of all ages to stay active, to be healthy, and to be engaged. Whether it's offering sports programs to local youth groups, hosting cultural events, or providing resources for community art initiatives, Ridley is dedicated to ensuring that these spaces become vibrant hubs of activity and enrichment for our community to enjoy. We remain an important economic contributor to a prosperous Niagara. And our motto, which is Terrar Dum Prosum, may I be consumed in service, embodies our dedication to being consumed in service, driving us to enrich the lives of those around us. We do this in many ways, from student participation and volunteer and community service initiatives like food and clothing and book drives, shoveling snow and raking leaves for our neighbors here in the Western Hill region of St. Catharines, to our boarding houses who each support a local charity every year. As you can see, we play an important role in helping Niagara prosper. We are deeply committed to serving our community and doing our part to cultivate a flourishing Niagara region. We are honored to call Niagara home. Thank you.
And on the note of service, it is my privilege and honor to invite our regional chair, Jim Bradley, to the stage for his keynote address. Please join me.
Once again, thank you for that kind invitation, and good afternoon. I must say, deeply honored once again to welcome all of you to the State of the Region address. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share with you an update on the progress we have made, the challenges we face together, and the promising future that lies ahead for our region. First and foremost, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the Greater Niagara Chamber of Commerce and many generous sponsors for once again making this event, in fact, a reality. This is my 6th State of the Region, and I always value this opportunity to share some time with hundreds of business and community leaders across Niagara who are here today. The expertise and the leadership each of you shares with Niagara helps to make our community a better place in which to live and which to work. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of the many elected officials who are in attendance today from all levels of government. While all of you are deserving of recognition, the format of today's event will not allow me to name all of you individually, though Mishka has done a good job doing that. Instead, I would like to ask all the elected officials in the room to please stand at this time to be acknowledged. Would you please stand? Anyone elected anywhere? And any I should comment here that I am extremely blessed to have as members of Regional Council so many dedicated individuals who are there all for the right reason, and that is to serve the people of Niagara. It is a genuine team. It is not a chair who runs the region. It is a collective council, and their advice and counsel is valuable to me as chair, and working with them is a genuine pleasure. Finally, I would like to recognize the dedicated senior staff from the region who have joined us today. I can speak from personal experience that talented professional public servants continue to play a role in turning the vision of those elected into office into a reality. In Niagara, we're fortunate to be served by some of the most dedicated and capable staff with which I have ever had the privilege of working. And I want to say that I've had that opportunity in different jobs over the years, and this staff indeed impresses me on a daily basis. At this point as well, I want to mention, as I look out into the audience, I just saw Ridley College and the profound presence they've had in our community of Niagara over the years, situated in the city of St. Catharines, and say how fortunate we are to have all educational institutions here. Particularly, I look at the long history now of Brock University, who will be celebrating a special anniversary, and Niagara College, both who make an immense contribution to Niagara and who attract others here as well who want to make it a place in which to live. I want to start my address this afternoon by looking at Niagara's economy. Over the past year, we've achieved remarkable success in terms of economic growth and development. Our region has seen a surge in investment across the community, which is a testament to the hard work of many of you who are in this room today. I believe these numbers speak for themselves. Last year, we saw investment in building construction continue its robust performance, totaling over $2.8 billion. In 2023, $1 in every $5 being spent on construction was invested in non-residential development, representing a significant trend in Niagara. In regard to the international trade, Niagara continues to post impressive numbers in 2023, with exports reaching a value exceeding $8.2 billion, resulting in a net gain of over $5 billion to our economy here in Niagara. Our employment landscape remained strong last year, with a low unemployment rate of 5.8%. The labor force also saw a record 222,000 people gainfully employed. We can remember when, in difficult times, Niagara was amongst the highest areas in the country in terms of unemployment. And the fact that we have reversed that trend speaks well of all of you in this room and the team that has made this possible. I'm also pleased to report that tourism spending rebounded to pre-pandemic levels in 2023, totaling $2.1 billion in visitor expenditures for the entire year. We also need to consider the economic powerhouse that is Niagara's agricultural sector. Last year, our farms and greenhouses generated over $1.7 billion for our economy. Niagara's agricultural sector, often forgotten, but not by me, plays an important role in our job market, employing over 7,800 people directly and 24,000 across the value chain. In terms of growth from 2016 to 2021, Niagara's agricultural GDP grew by 21%, outpacing our total growth of 18%. We should all be proud of these statistics, and we would do well to remember the crucial role this sector plays in our economy. And there are many players in that particular sector who make that contribution. In all, our GDP grew to over $22 billion, marking a growth of over $250 million compared to 2022. Despite the global economic slowdown, Niagara continued its upward trajectory, underscoring our resilience and indeed our innovation. As the Niagara region, it is our role to support and collaborate with our partners in the 12 local communities to help grow the economy. This collaboration has helped to attract and retain over 20 industrial investments in the past 2 years, generating $500 million in capital investment and creating another 1,200 new jobs. Some of the positive announcements, these are not all by any means, include Siltec Corporation in Fort Erie, Big Country Raw in West Lincoln, Linamar Corp in Welland, High Strength Plates and Profiles Inc. in Thorold, and AMC Inc. in Lincoln. There are many more, but these are a good example of those who have chosen Niagara as their place to do business. When I reflect on the state of our economy, I'm filled with a sense of optimism for the future of Niagara region, and with good reason. Yes, there are challenges, but almost every community across the country shares those with us. I believe that Niagara has once again demonstrated its resiliency in building itself back after the economic impacts of COVID-19 and its tenacity in coping with a significant global economic slowdown. As a regional government, we also saw considerable progress and achievement in a number of different areas. Just a few snapshot accomplishments include the following. The construction of the Lynnhaven and Gilmore Lodge long-term care homes continues to progress on schedule. Once completed, hundreds of Niagara seniors will have access to world-class facilities while creating the opportunity for the region to build more affordable housing on adjacent land. Take a look at these buildings if you get a chance. They're truly remarkable. They served us well in their original state, but there have been remarkable changes that have been made. And once again, I thank staff and those who are responsible for the actual construction for ensuring that we have these facilities available to us. Late last year, Niagara Region's 8 long-term care homes completed the National Accreditation Program, meeting 100% of the criteria that is established, leading to an exemplary standing, the highest possible rating available. So that is certainly something of which our staff is suitably proud, and I think that all of us in the region can be. On the housing side, there are many initiatives underway. For example, the partnership between the region and Port Cares on an affordable apartment project is making substantial progress. With the region investing nearly $2.3 million in the project through both equity and DC waivers, there will be 41 new affordable units available once completed. I had a chance to tour it and its progress at this time, and it is genuinely a good opportunity for people who require housing of that kind. In 2023, we opened a new community housing facility in Welland. This building provides 43 guaranteed income units for families, adults, and seniors, helping to shorten our extensive wait lists. Our public health department worked hard in 2023 to catch up on immunizations and dental screenings. And I'm pleased to share that nearly 30,000 school-age students now up to date with their crucial immunizations, and 39,000 children received dental screenings, important for their health, important for our region. Last year, our physician recruiter program successfully brought 19 new family doctors to Niagara, helping to address the shortage of family physicians that is being felt across all of our communities, but indeed right across Canada, and in some cases the world. Finally, the 2024 budget contains over $270 million in capital infrastructure projects across all 12 communities. These initiatives, which include roads, bridges, and water infrastructure, to name a few, will see us maintaining crucial infrastructure that residents and businesses rely on daily. And I say it's not only the building of new infrastructure, but the refurbishing of others. If we turn our minds to the news of the day, and we saw infrastructure in the city of Baltimore destroyed by a significant and unfortunate accident, you'll note that they will have to replace that particular bridge. It calls into question then, for all of us, what are the safety provisions in all of the infrastructure that we have? Well, part of our expenditure goes to refurbishing and restoring that infrastructure, much of it was built 50 or 60 years ago. So these are just a few highlights from the last 12 months, but we cannot forget about the more than 3,000 talented and dedicated staff who work tirelessly in dozens of programs to ensure we have access to the programs and services we need. I mentioned the long-term care homes, the nursing homes as well. Many of our employees are employed there, and of course they came through a very challenging time with COVID-19 and worked hard to ensure that people were kept as healthy as possible in those circumstances. They continue that job to this day. In preparing for this address, I knew that many in this room would have concerns regarding the region's budget, and justifiably so. As chair, I can share that the last two budgets have been remarkably challenging. While the increases were necessary, they're also larger than all of us on council would like to have seen. For some added context, a recently completed independent study showed that 92% of our spending is invested in services that are deemed essential or mandatory. In other words, we have no choice, many of which are accompanied by strict provincial regulations. With over $9 billion in public infrastructure that needs to be maintained, very little of the region's budget is considered discretionary. This makes it difficult for the region to simply get out of a line of business to reduce the budget. As elected officials, we must attempt to balance affordability with our responsibility to provide dozens of essential services at a standard that our residents have come to expect and justifiably deserve. Our recent budget challenges are being driven by many factors. Some affect all of us, like global inflation. That affects the business community as well. While others reflect the legacy of parsimonious financial decisions made decades ago regarding infrastructure, where the investments may not have been made to the degree they had to and have to be made today. Additionally, we continue to cope with the impacts, as do all municipalities, of the province and even the federal government downloading costs onto the region by making costly policy decisions. Put simply, property taxes were never designed to cover the costs of complex issues like mental health, social housing, hospital development, Ontario Works, asylum seekers, or climate change. Despite the limitations of property taxes, the region is continually being called upon to respond to these issues. Another I would mention, because there are many in this audience who are interested in this, you notice when our hospitals have been built, one would assume this is a responsibility of a senior level of government. In one case, the new Niagara South Hospital, the region is contributing approximately $44 million to that project, and in West Lincoln, approximately $12 million to that project. This comes from the property tax, not from the taxes available to senior levels of government. But our council made a decision because they knew that to make these projects successful, it would require a contribution from us. I just indicate to you that is part of our budget. Now, while there are some funding for senior levels of government for these challenges, and we're very grateful for these contributions, I can say, some of which were mentioned in the recent budget, it is often insufficient, and many programs have been frozen for several years or do not reflect the true cost of inflation, putting further strain on our local budget. By way of real-world example, the provincial policy decisions rolled out through Bill 23 were responsible for 25% of the budget increase this year. Bill 23 took away from municipalities the opportunity to get certain development charges. And the program itself is, the goal is good, and that is to get appropriate kinds of housing built to meet the needs of Ontario. But in doing so, municipalities who were deprived of being able to charge development charges for those, and we are fine with that program, except we would have hoped to be made whole, and who knows, with subsequent announcements, we may be made whole by the losses in terms of 25% of our budget increase this year. So in response to these challenges, we made all efforts to limit these increases by streamlining services, implementing measures to enforce efficiencies, and urging Niagara Regional Police Service Board to find savings, and they worked hard to do so. I also want to share that there have been no new staff in the last 2 years that are paid for by the property taxes, outside of making some desperately needed investments in emergency services, so our ambulances, to combat offload delays, which are, of course, plaguing people across this province, but certainly Our EMS people have struggled hard to ensure that they're not sitting at local hospitals waiting to have their patients admitted. At the end of the day, the corporate budget for the Niagara region, that's the corporate section, came in the rate of, just to say, I'd say under the rate of inflation at the time at around 3.3%. However, after approving the significant budget for the Niagara Regional Police, which we're required to do, the overall budget increased to the number we arrived at this year. And of course, our police services face the same challenges all of us face in terms of their increased costs in meeting the needs of a police service in any part of the province. Despite our significant challenges, we remain committed to providing essential services to our community while being mindful of the impact on taxpayers. We will continue to explore ways to mitigate the effects of global inflation, provincial and federal policy decisions, and the significant cost of policing to ensure that we can provide the best possible services to all of our residents. As Regional Chair, another key priority is to continue to foster productive relationships with senior levels of government. To this end, I'm pleased to share that we will once again be traveling to Queen's Park in Toronto in May for Niagara Week, where we'll be advocating for provincial decision makers to make our priorities their top priorities. This year, we're pleased to yet again partner with the GNCC in our advocacy efforts. That makes us even more effective when we have the Chamber working side by side with us. This partnership ensures that the strong partnership between Niagara's local governments and the private sector is on full display for those at the provincial capital. These days in Toronto are a unique opportunity for members of council and senior staff to have in-depth discussions with provincial leaders on some of the region's most pressing topics. We had many successes last year, including a verbal commitment from Premier Ford to jointly fund the South Niagara treatment plant should the federal government cooperate. We aim to build upon these successes and further advance our core advocacy priorities in 2024. And then when I mention that, not only will we meet with cabinet ministers, senior civil service people, and individual members of the legislature, we did have an opportunity last year to meet with the premier himself, and I was very welcome to have that opportunity. So I look forward to bringing back a series of encouraging updates from our meetings with provincial ministers and officials. It would be difficult to deliver my view of the state of the region without reflecting on our ongoing efforts to address our challenges with homelessness. A challenge that is faced again virtually worldwide now, but let's concentrate on the fact it is here as well. We can all agree that there's no silver bullet solution to this problem. The issues we are grappling with are exceedingly complex, systematically interconnected, influenced by a host of external factors, and are found not just, as I mentioned, across North America, but the entire globe. So Niagara is not unique in these particular challenges. That does not mean we're giving up. On the contrary, we continue to make meaningful progress. One significant step forward is the region's installation of the temporary homelessness shelter solution in St. Catharines on Riordan Street. This facility has already proven successful in providing safe and supportive housing for those in need. It stands as a testament to our commitment to finding practical solutions to this complex issue. And I know that the mayor of St. Catharines was pleased to see it opened and was very supportive of this particular initiative, which is somewhat unique for us, and I think others will probably copy it justifiably, but it does happen in other places as well. Regional Council also recently approved a poverty reduction strategy with the goal of ending poverty across Niagara. The strategy coordinates efforts across the region, prevents duplication, and will improve communication and collaboration between service providers. I'm confident this strategy will better meet the needs of our most vulnerable residents while recognizing the unique experiences of those who are experiencing poverty. We also work to prevent homelessness from happening in the first place by providing early intervention and support to individuals and families at risk of losing their homes. This includes rapid rehousing programs, emergency shelter services, and counseling. In short, it's easier and cheaper to keep someone housed than managing the alternative. Recently, we collaborated with the City of St. Catharines to create a working group made up of elected officials, staff, and key stakeholders with an aim to address the concerns focused on downtown St. Catharines, which of all the municipalities, because of its size, has had some very challenging times. This group meets regularly to discuss strategies to respond to the challenges and to ensure up-to-date information is being shared. I appreciate the cooperation of Mayor Cisco in this particular initiative. We are dedicated to finding innovative and compassionate solutions to this complicated problem. We'll continue to make evidence-informed decisions and search for best practice as we navigate the issue of homelessness in our community. I want to address the ongoing and urgent housing crisis that's being experienced across North America. As I've said multiple times in the past, the region joins the provincial government in their goal to build more homes. To be frank, while our role is important, municipalities across the province have only a small role to play. Despite these limitations, the region is working through a comprehensive strategy in an effort to respond to the housing crisis. First, we're actively doing what we can to increase the supply of affordable housing in Niagara. Through partnerships with developers and community organizations, we are creating new affordable housing units across the region. Both play a very significant role there. We're fortunate, by the way, to have in Niagara, and I think you know this, some of the very best builders of homes and other buildings that you'll find anywhere in the province, and their cooperation has been remarkable, and we look forward to continue working with them. We recognize that addressing the housing crisis requires a coordinated effort, and we're working closely with, as I mentioned before, 12 local municipalities, community organizations, and other stakeholders to develop innovative solutions and leverage resources and avoid duplication. This includes working with our post-secondary institutions to discuss the impacts of students on our housing market. And as I mentioned earlier, we're most fortunate to have those long-time post-secondary institutions, Niagara College and Brock University, with us and contributing immensely to Niagara. There's also a strong connection between housing and public infrastructure. To this end, the region continues to make critical investments to ensure we have the surface land available to support growth. One of the largest planned projects in the region's history, the South Niagara Wastewater Treatment Plant, will provide service to thousands of new homes and businesses once completed. The region, in partnership with the local municipalities and the private sector, continues to strongly lobby for cost sharing on this $400 million project with the provincial and federal governments. So we will welcome their partnership financially in that regard. As mentioned, I strongly believe that the housing crisis should not be solely supported by the property taxes of Niagara. We consistently advocate for funding and resources from provincial and federal governments to support our efforts to address the housing crisis in Niagara. The need for a new deal for the region will continue to be a central plank in our advocacy efforts going forward, as it is indeed for municipalities across Ontario, including those represented by the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, who advocate for that kind of new deal with both our federal and provincial governments in regard to funding. Just yesterday, the provincial government in their budget announced a series of actions that they are taking to make housing more affordable, and we applaud those steps. While we await the final details, we're supportive of their decision to reduce property taxes on purpose-built rental, eliminating the province's part of the HST on purpose-built rental, and giving municipalities more authority to impose vacant home taxes. And you know, I can recall the federal government previously on its part of the HST removed it for the purpose-built housing as well. I know I can speak for council when I say the Niagara region is committed to doing what we can to address the housing crisis and ensuring that all residents have access to safe, affordable housing. By working together with our partners and stakeholders, we believe that we can make a meaningful difference in the lives of our community members. A year ago, I made a commitment that we would expand shared services across Niagara. I think of the Lord Mayor of Niagara Lake when I say this, because he's been a long time advocate of it, and he's not the only one, but I know he used to remind me constantly about that need. And so today I'm pleased to report that in close and active collaboration with our 12 local communities, we're continuing to see real and historic progress in regard to our efforts to streamline service delivery and better use public resources. Over the years, we have seen a variety of shared services agreements come to fruition, varying in scope and complexity, with different amounts of savings. Past efforts across the region include fire service pilots with adjacent municipalities, the merger of libraries, and the coordination of animal control services, and the recent amalgamation of public transit, to name a few. And that is one example clearly of a major initiative to have a transit-wide opportunity for people in Niagara under the auspices of regional transit. I should note here, one of the strongest advocates for this were members of the business community. And I'll mention today specifically as our hosts that the Greater Niagara Chamber of Commerce was one of those entities. So while I give credit for a number of these initiatives to local municipalities, these achievements are a testament to Niagara's commitment to finding innovative solutions to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of our services for residents and businesses alike. Last year, I announced the creation of a team of regional staff dedicated to identifying, coordinating, facilitating, and enabling more shared services opportunity between and among Niagara's municipalities. This team plays a crucial role in driving our shared services agenda forward, ensuring that we continue to find new ways to collaborate and streamline our operations. It is no secret that this provincial government has been clear about their objectives to make government effective and efficient and to increase the housing supply. To this end, I'm pleased to share that the first major initiative identified by Niagara's 12 local communities for exploration was an opportunity to streamline and harmonize municipal building services across the region. Once completed, this initiative will reduce the time it takes to get building permits approved and expedite shovels getting into the ground. As an added benefit, the initiative will help to ensure to not only consistent customer service practices, but also the interpretation of the building code. I see this as a perfect example of the region working across 12 local municipalities to directly address the efficiency of municipal government, while also increasing the housing supply, a goal that all of us have together. With just a year of this term under completion, I'm enthusiastic for the future and other opportunities we pursue in the interest of effective and efficient municipal government. As we reflect on the state of the Niagara region, it is my hope that we're inspired by our past successes and motivated by our current challenges. We are a community that has weathered storms and emerged stronger. Our resilience, creativity, and compassion are our greatest assets as we navigate the road ahead. Moving forward, I'm confident we will embrace the spirit of collaboration and innovation that defines us, working together to build a brighter future for all. Let us dare to have the vision of Niagara where all things are possible. In many ways, 2024 is a pivotal movement for all of us, and a moment which we will recall for many years to come. We would do well by remembering that the decisions we make today will shape the Niagara of tomorrow. Let us choose wisely, let us act boldly, and let us do so with the knowledge that our best days are yet to come. Together we can make Niagara a model of progress, the standard bearer for collaboration, and a testament to the power of community. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for allowing me to make this address.
Well, Jim, it's my pleasure to just say a few words of thanks to you for delivering another comprehensive State of the Region address. It is an honor always to lead Niagara College as president. I am so proud of the work we do in working with the region, with municipalities, with industry across Niagara in key sectors where there are significant labor force shortages, and it's part of our plans moving forward to expand programming in areas like health, skilled trades, community services, business, environment, hospitality, and tourism, where we know that from all of our closely connected programs that have program advisory committees made up of by many of you, We know there's some critical labor force shortages, and we continue to look to make sure that our programming is aligned with the workforce needs of Niagara. We're also very proud of the fact that after being ranked #2 in Canada last year, we are this year the #1 ranked college in Canada in applied research. And for us, we love the ranking because we're really competitive. But for us, what's more important is that when we're #1 ranked in Canada, it means that we are able to help through the funding that we've attracted. We're able to help hundreds of SMEs across Niagara with product development, commercialization, efficiency projects, and challenges that they've brought to us, and where we've brought our faculty and student expertise in our facilities to help benefit them. So if we're ranked #1 in applied research, it's great news for SMEs across the Niagara region. I'm also incredibly proud of our many alumni, and there's many, many of you in the room today, who continue to make such a difference in their communities, in so many different organizations, and in their workplaces, including one of our stellar broadcasting, radio, television, and film alumni, Tim Dennis. And of course, we're very lucky to have some truly trailblazing programs. By the way, Benchmark Restaurant is open again Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays for lunch. Many of you asked me that last year, and we were hoping to open. It's now open again. We also have some amazing programs, well, across the board. But one of the ones that we're best known for, and I'm pleased to have a sample here to present to you, Jim, is our teaching winery. So as a token of our appreciation, not just on behalf of Niagara College, but on behalf of everybody here and the residents of Niagara, nobody in Niagara has put in so much effort over so many years into public service. And I was thinking that I don't know if anyone has ever made in Niagara's history has ever made as many speeches as you, but for all of your efforts over so many years, including your continued leadership as regional chair, thank you.
Thank you so very much. Chair Bradley, thank you so very much for your keynote address. I think many of the topics that you touched on were actually some of the questions that you had brought forward too. So just for this part of the afternoon, I actually am seeing Tim Dennis's face, and I'm just going to say it. So yesterday morning, I was privileged enough to be on this round table. Once the round table was over, I said, Tim, give me some tips. I do not know how to get a word in with Chair Bradley. So Chair Bradley, you just have to give me a chance to ask a couple of questions and the audience to give a couple of questions because we have only a limited period of time. So thank you for that, and thank you for your tips. And I do really wish that Tim would be sitting in this place instead of me saying that. I'm going to start out with just on the format. My colleague, our Director of Operations and Communication, Karina Massacott, right there, is the one who has the microphone. So if you are wanting to get her attention because you have a question that you would like to ask, she's the one who holds all the control of it. So thank you, Karina, for that. But let me start out with something that I heard today and I hear regularly when I have meetings with individuals across Niagara. And that is the sense that our population, we're currently at around 500,000, hasn't officially been said, but it seems like the latest Stats Canada hasn't come out, but it seems like we're sitting at around 500,000. And the province has forecasted that and projected that we are going to go up by about an additional 214,000 in the next 25 years. That is a substantial impact, substantial growth that we have. And as you've been in politics for a little while, there's two parts to this question. My first sense is your sense about this projection. Is it true? Are we seeing this? And then secondly, the tremendous pressures that this will actually burden on our infrastructure. and how can that be addressed? So I'm first start out with that. It seems to be a reflection of some of the conversations that are going on today.
I will do so. First of all, I don't have the crystal ball that would say whether it's an accurate projection, but I have no reason to believe it is not an accurate projection. And there's a reason for that. That is that many people have left the Greater Toronto area to come to, as the Mayor of Thorold would say, the Greater Thorold area, or Niagara as a whole, let's say. And they've done so because of lower housing prices, for one thing. Of course, that drives the housing prices up here, but they have come here for that reason. And it's a nice place in which to reside. So there's no reason to believe that the provincial projections are inaccurate. And they always want to make sure that they're building for any contingency. They don't want to be left without sufficient housing, for instance. So in the first case, I have no reason to not believe their projections. I think they're probably accurate based on the information they have available. And second, you asked a question about what are the implications for Niagara. Quite obviously, we need to build more dwelling units for people. That doesn't mean the old concept where they were all single-family homes with a 60-foot frontage and perhaps 2 and 3 and 4 bedrooms in them. That is part of the component, quite obviously. But we're seeing a significant transformation now where we have people going into semi-detached units, into townhouses, for instance, which are quite popular, into apartments and so on. So that means that we have to have the housing available. That also means we have to have the infrastructure available. And it means, for instance, because you've, as an entity, have asked for this, and we've complied with it for a variety of reasons. But regional transit, for instance, that service will have to expand as more people are here. So all the resources you need for more people are going to be needed here. More schools, more hospitals, and we're moving in that direction, and certainly such things as long-term care homes. All of those are things that we have to provide for people who are coming here. So there will be pressures. I'm confident that with the cooperation and partnership with our provincial and federal partners, that we'll be able to provide those kind of opportunities for people.
Thank you very much. I think for many of us, it is difficult to imagine Niagara in 20 or 25 years from now, because we have seen some growth, but significantly less than what we have seen across Ontario and other areas. But I believe that Karina is somewhere right there. And I think there's someone who was wanting to ask a question.
All right, hi everybody. My name is Kevin Peters. I'm here representing the Niagara Construction Association. Thank you for this opportunity to speak to you directly, Jim. We're hearing from our members that they're experiencing little or lighter demand on new construction projects moving forward. And if our trades aren't bidding on new work, we are having concern that future construction numbers aren't going to be very strong. Developers and builders are experiencing increased construction costs, increased financing costs, and you mentioned increased development charges. We've also witnessed the Niagara region start to pull back on some of their brownfield incentives. So my question to you is, with all of these challenges and early signs of a slowdown in construction, what is the region's development team doing to promote Niagara and incentivize new construction to ensure that we do get shovels in the ground? Thank you.
Well, it's a very reasonable question to ask, first of all. I think we recognize that with the cost of financing today, that's made a significant difference. When you're talking about interest rates at 2%, you're going to get a lot more done when the interest rates head up towards 6 and 7%. And depending on where you're borrowing, could be even higher. So one of the things we have advocated for as municipalities is that the Bank of Canada, and they certainly do not come under our jurisdiction, but that they give consideration to the impact of higher interest rates on such things as the construction industry in our area. I know I have directed a letter to them previously and received a reply from the governor of the Bank of Canada, but I did share with him the major impact that increased interest rates have. And there's no question that when we have increased interest rates, often the goal is to slow down the economy, but our goal will be to quickly have it rebound from those high levels. Second, we will be working with senior levels of government and advocacy in some cases, other cases providing opportunities for employment for those who are in the skilled trades. I know that a large number of people, in fact, are retiring from the skilled trades, and encouraging and allowing people back into the skilled trades, younger people, newer people, is an important component. We heard from Niagara College, we hear from Brock University, we hear from our secondary school system that they're working towards providing opportunities for people and persuading people that those are areas in which there's a good dollar to be made and there's sound jobs. I think one thing you would recognize, knowing your industry well, our attitude toward the technical jobs, the hands-on jobs, the manual jobs in North America is far behind that of Europe, where those jobs are given the kind of prestige they justifiably deserve. And so we work with others to ensure that that happens. In terms of our work, we will continue to provide opportunities through projects we're undertaking. Council made a courageous decision to commit to more expenditures in the field of infrastructure. That means that it militates in favor of the opportunity for more building, and we'll continue to do that. Where you can identify circumstances where we can speed up approvals without causing great problems to the environment or to public health and safety, we're all ears for that, and as I say, we're coordinating our efforts. But the other thing I see happening, and you experience this, is what about the materials that are available for construction? Are they available in the numbers they did before, the supply chain? And if they are, what are those costs? And I think we recognize when we put projects out for bidding now, though we always want to get the lowest bid possible, that those bids are going to come in higher than they did before because of the circumstances I mentioned. And we'll take that into account when we're doing so. We have to, of course, be slowed down, if you will, to a certain extent by environmental assessments that take place that we're required to do, and also by the fact we have to follow procedures when we're putting out bids that perhaps the private sector you don't have to. So I certainly welcome that question, and we'll do everything we can to be helpful.
Thank you very much. We have another question over there.
Thank you, Karina. And thank you, Lori Beach, Executive Director at Bethlehem Housing. So I'm going to keep you on the topic of housing, and you've spoken to it, and we appreciate that. But I'm going to ask you to elaborate just a little bit, and I'm going to remind the community of and those here of a few things that we have concerns about. And in the region, we have prioritized resources, as you've alluded to, over the past several years to focus on supportive housing and homelessness prevention for the high acuity, chronically homeless, as we should. And we are achieving some successes, which you've spoken about. And there's much talk, though, as you've also alluded to, about the missing middle, with a need for affordable rental housing and attainable homeownership housing. And there's a lot of focus in supporting development in those areas of the housing continuum. And here in Niagara, we currently have 24,000 households in core housing need and over 10,000 households on the regional wait list searching for affordable housing. And we at Bethlehem have a wait list of 500 families. So the folks of the missing middle are lower income working individuals and families, and those that are transitionally homeless, or better known as the hidden homeless, and are at risk of becoming homeless. Another example are households that have been rent-evicted. So looking at the last few years, as you've done, but if you wouldn't mind alluding to, these numbers are continuously increasing within this, what I call this missing middle. And is it time to tackle this particular part of the housing issue differently? Can you speak to that, please?
Yeah, no question about it. The missing middle is often missing because there's not an emphasis on it. We're always looking at housing for those who are most in need at perhaps the bottom of the economic ladder, to no fault of themselves, but are there. And then we certainly meet the needs of those who have the financial ability to make those purchases of the larger homes. There is a missing middle out there. I think we have to be uh, eager to allow different kinds of developments taking place. I can say, and I say this as a compliment to members of Regional Council, the NIMBYism, that is not my backyard, please, that people will talk about. They will say, well, yes, it's good to have multiple family units. We think they're great over there, not over here. I think as municipal councillors, we have to show the courage to ensure that we have those developments everywhere. I want to compliment Bethlehem Housing. You've been played a major role in transitional housing for people who are not necessarily in your units for forever, but are there on a transitional basis until we can find the housing to which you're making reference. But that housing is necessary because you, in many of your instances, are unable to look after people forever, and you see it as a stepping stone, which is important to get people housed right away. So we have to be able to accept more units than we would have liked before. When I was on city council back in the 1970s, if you were a local councillor, the great pressure was, please don't allow anything other than single family homes with 60-foot frontages, please. And if you do, you're selling us out. Well, a lot of decisions that were made back in those days are regretted today, although they probably reflected the times, are regretted today because we don't have as many of those housing units as we need. And there may have been some bad examples starting out what they would refer to as row housing, something of that nature. But by gosh, over the years, our development community, our builders, are building quality homes for people in terms of smaller units. And one of the answers to the question of making more housing available for protect younger people with growing families is there are a lot of more senior people who are in houses that have 3 and 4 bedrooms and were once needed for that purpose, but today are looking for opportunities to relocate. We have to be able to provide, and we have to accommodate as municipalities, the kind of housing that they want to transition to. And it may not necessarily be ownership. As people get advanced in their age, they may well feel they're better off renting than buying. Also, we can encourage as well the number of senior residences out there. These aren't necessarily long-term care homes, but they are places where people who want to leave their own home or perhaps have to for medical or other reasons have that opportunity. So we have not, I can't think of one project, I don't think any of my councillors could as well, where the region has prevented a project from proceeding because of NIMBYism, because of people not wanting it in my backyard. To be fair, we face less pressure than local municipalities, but even there, I'm watching where they are working hard to ensure that while there may be some complaints, that they understand they have to address the needs of the missing middle out there. And so I think that's what we have to do. And in our regional plan, we've made land available for those very purposes. And we'll take advantage of federal and provincial housing programs which militate in favor of that kind of housing as well. So, but I do want to, I'll make another plug for you. Anybody wants to know where to make a good philanthropic contribution, Bethlehem Housing is one of them.
Thank you very much. I think this is a very complex issue. I think it touches on so many different departments, not just on the two-tiered system that we have here, but I think it's also a tremendous opportunity for the shared services that you actually announced last year and the opportunities we have to actually speed that process up, reduce the red tape, and move forward. But we have a few other topics that were interesting and important to all of you who are here. But I want to touch base on one thing. Niagara, and we have seen the headlines across Ontario and other communities too. We are not immune to the issues around homelessness, mental health, and the opioid addiction crisis that we have. But in many cases, some of the signs of it are most visible in downtowns, in some of our downtowns that we have. It needs, and I think there's a real understanding from all levels of government that this needs the attention of not only one level of government, but multiple tier governments need to address it. What would truly be an intergovernmental approach to address this particular issue in light of that, especially downtowns have been the face of a community, the heartbeat of a community, and have been so vitally important?
Three entities working together. Now, it sounds mundane to say it, and it sounds repetitious to talk about funding. But when you think of it, the senior levels of government, I know people will say, well, there's only one taxpayer. The property tax does not take into account a person's ability to pay. If you're a person who's lost a job that year, and if you lost a job for a year, that year you paid no or lower income taxes. But when that property tax bill arrives, you're expected to pay it. It does not take into account your ability to pay. Same with the business who may have a bad year. They're expected to pay their property taxes, even though they have not had a good year and may have lower taxes from senior levels of government. So it takes a team. I was encouraged by what I saw in the provincial budget in additional. Municipalities always say we need much more funding, but there were some movements in the right direction in the provincial budget in terms of funding for meeting the opioid crisis that virtually every community, and I mean large and small, not just the large communities, face, and homelessness, of course, which you see visible signs of in virtually all communities, and the struggles over that. Those are very important, but they will require teamwork, a special program that involves, just as we have with infrastructure, three levels of government combined in one project of ending those situations confronting us. And homelessness, the best way to end homelessness is to find a home for people. The tents are not the solution. We understand why they go there. Even shelters, our own staffs will tell us, and people in the service field, the social service field, will tell you, shelters are only a pause. Shelters are only a part of the solution. It's not the long-term solution, and so that's the direction in which we have to move. And I say, I'm encouraged by some of what I saw in the provincial budget. We'll see the actual facts and figures soon, but those steps are in the right direction, because as municipalities with only the property tax and some local charges simply would not have the financial wherewithal to solve the problem by itself. And they're often concentrated in downtowns. All of you have gone, and some of you have gone to the States as well. People have told me they've gone to Los Angeles and San Francisco, and they said, if you think homelessness is a problem here, take a look at what's happening there. So it's not only here, and it's something we have to tackle as a society. As well, the social payments that are available to people who are genuinely in need have to be increased, say the people in the social services field and our own regional staff. If people have the funds to find their own accommodation, that's the best of all worlds.
I appreciate your take on it, and you're absolutely right. This is not an isolated Niagara issue. It's not an Ontario or Canada issue. It's something that we're seeing all across North America. But I also want to point out, I have been at so many round tables, so many stakeholder conversations. And when I'm looking around this room, there's a commitment from everyone in this room to addressing these issues. And when you talked about it, your final comments of your keynote that spoke about that we're actually in this together, that if we all hold a vision, we can make a difference. I encourage the local government to tap into the individuals that are here today, because they are willing, they're passionate, and many of them have the resources and connections to making a difference. It's really nice when we don't look at a problem in isolation of saying that's a public sector problem versus a private sector one or versus a nonprofit. It's only when we break down those barriers that we really can make a difference.
Mishka, you're absolutely right. We do tap into and we value the input from people in social service agencies and those who work with them and help finance them. You know, our corporate community here has been very generous in its support of some of these local agencies. Bethlehem Housing was mentioned. There are many others here today, and I can't get into enumerating all of them, but we know who they are. Our community at large can make a contribution to what they are doing, but they also play another significant role. And that role is providing information and advocacy to those of us who are in elected office, and to our staff, our staff at the region who are involved in, I'll put it in very general terms, social services, value very much that kind of input from all aspects of our community, and some new ideas that come from them that perhaps no one else thought of at this time.
I think when I look back on the years of COVID that we had, and I think one of the highlights to me was actually the courage and the speed at which many decisions were being made, and the possibility, and you saw that it was possible to say this was a problem and this is how we're addressing it. So I think we would have not seen many things. None of us would have thought we could buy a bottle of wine at a restaurant and take it home. That would have taken 20 years of advocacy on our end to ever get it through, and there it was done within a week or 2 weeks. So we've seen amazing examples of when we have all moved forward in the same direction. But I want to change topics here slightly. They're all interconnected, but this one specifically has come forward, and it's regarding bringing the GO train service to Niagara. It has been a focus of many of us here for decades, and we recently heard the news that Niagara was not mentioned in the GO Transit expansion plan. Do you have any insight into why this is, and whether Metrolinx might change its mind given the energy Niagara has expanded into actually getting GO trains here?
Well, thank you for that question, because I was watching the full budget presentation. I got they had a briefing for some of us in municipalities ahead of time, a confidential briefing about half an hour before the budget was presented. But I watched the minister on television deliver the entire budget. I was waiting for the word Niagara when it mentioned GO, and it was mentioned. The word Niagara was there. So I am encouraged with the fact they know that Niagara is on the map for that particular service, and we continue to advocate for it as vociferously. Mr. Forster, who is with the top person in Metrolinx, has certainly indicated we're on the map for it. Sam Ushraf, who represents Niagara West and is a government member in the area, has said that Niagara is not forgotten and is on that list. They are looking at now the impact, and this is something you would have noted, on people working remotely. Because what we're talking about essentially now is the commuter service. The Jim Diodati will tell you that and the people from the Falls particularly, but around the region, that the tourism people are filling those trains, and their lineups in Niagara Falls when they get there. I'm sure many of them stop in St. Catharines, and they all want to head to Port Colborne. I know that for sure. So isn't that right, Bill? And what we want to ensure is that it's not just these. That's important. And one of the advantages we have, by the way, and I don't want to offend anybody here, but there's nobody here from far away. I mean, if you had a chance to come to Niagara for the purpose of a tourism experience, or Bowmanville, where would you go? Bowmanville is a great community, a wonderful place, but it doesn't have a falls, Jim, and it doesn't have all these wineries and so on. So the tourism part of it, Michigan is doing very well. We have said that we believe that if the service is there, in other words, chicken and the egg, if you will give us the service, people will come to it. What have we done as a region? We have invested serious dollars into the train stations. So we have a financial commitment there. Second, we have regional transit now, because one of the reasons for having regional transit is eventually to have people to be able to come down where the GO train stations are located, so that they're not forced to come in their own vehicles, for instance. So I've been pleased. The Premier was down here not long ago talking about some additional service during the day. We would love to see more. Obviously, as you know, it reminds me of that beloved play where, please, sir, can I have more? You know, the line is made. But we think when people have that service available, they will take it. And it's going to come both ways, because there are people who want to come to Niagara, but also if people will say, well, they have to work in Toronto, perhaps that's one of the things. Remember, a lot of people go to Toronto for certain services that only a mega city can provide, such as some of the special service hospitals that they have in Toronto, or other things of that nature. This is coming out of my ear, I think. I'm not sure, but there we go. But anyway, I am encouraged by it, and I'm not discouraged, because I listened in the budget, and when the word Niagara came, I started the applause.
Perfect.
And three of us applauded.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the update. We have a question over here, and what's this?
Thank you very much.
3 minutes.
My name is Chris Breen. I work for Walker. We have been proudly headquartered in Niagara for over 120 years, and we deliver many essential services and products that are critical to your everyday. My question is with respect to waste management. And I know that all the municipal leaders and regional leaders here today understand the importance of waste management, because it's your phone that rings if there's ever a problem. But what I'd really like to understand is we hear the province talk about growth in housing and how much it's required. We understand that. 1.5 million new homes means 1.5 million new tons of waste that would have to be managed. And I'm just wondering if you feel that the province is fully looking at waste management as a piece of critical infrastructure that has to be ready before these homes are built, much the same way that they look at water, wastewater, transit, what have you. And if not, if you have any advice on how we might be able to help illuminate their views on that front. Thank you.
Well, it may not be top of mind for the province. I think they recognize that there's going to have to be those services provided. And I can tell the people here, although they know it, if we didn't have walkers and the facilities they have at Walkers, we would be in trouble considerably. Everybody thinks, well, it's a landfill. There's much more than landfill at Walkers. And the company has been extremely innovative in terms of meeting the needs of recycling and reuse and the green bin material, for instance. It's not a popular thing. Like, it's not when you go to cut the ribbon somewhere, because I had the job of Minister of the Environment, and I would cut the ribbon at a sewage treatment plant. Well, that's, or at a landfill site. Ministers call them sanitary landfill. Everybody else calls them the dump. But you're cutting the ribbon there. It's not gloriful. And I did see in the budget $200 million for recreational facilities. And when I was Minister of Tourism and Recreation, I love cutting those ribbons. But this is very important. And you can be assured that not only this municipality, but municipalities across Ontario, and that's AMO itself, will be calling that to the attention of the government. We have Rob Foster as our representative on AMO from a regional council. Does an excellent job of advocating, not only on behalf of our area, but on behalf of all municipalities. And I know Rob's listening with very open ears today to this today. And we have Diana Houston on FCM, which is the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, and she there will bring to the attention of the national government, even though it's more provincial than national, those needs. I'm glad you mentioned it, because you're absolutely right. If you're going to have more people and you're going to have more economic activity and more construction activity, you have to have facilities to deal with it. And you also, by the way, have to have aggregate when you're building roads and things of that nature as well. All done within the framework of environmental responsibility, which it should be. But I'm glad you mentioned one of the things I'm a bit concerned about. We'll see how it comes about. The concept of the people who produce the waste or the material in the first place, eventually becomes waste, should be responsible for the recycling program, for instance, the Blue Box program and other boxes programs. What we want to ensure as municipalities is that there, and you're a business person, so you'd appreciate this, that there is competition available and there's not one entity that's going to handle all of this. When you have one entity providing anything, and people in business know this, when there's one sole provider, one sole operator, the costs are going to be higher and the aggressiveness in being a good operator is not necessary there as well. So I want to assure you again, we'll be bringing that to their attention, that everybody should have that opportunity to bid, and those who are able to do the job properly and have a track record, and those who are able to provide a good price will be those selected for it. So I'm really glad you mentioned that, and that's something I'm going to share with many of my colleagues in other municipalities when I get together with them, because that's going to be, if not job number one, certainly within the top 10.
Thank you very much. And thank you for all the work it actually does for the community on this one. And thank you for covering this. My colleague here is giving me the signs to wrap it up. So I'm actually going to ask for the grace of one question. But Chair Bradley, maybe if you can just answer it with yes or no, that would be really, really good. I'm going to give it a try here.
I'm used to answering questions in the legislature where you go on forever till the speaker makes you sit down. But
Okay.
So I'll try yes or no.
Yes or no? What engagement have you heard from the province of municipal governance reform? Do you get the impression they're determined to change Niagara's governance structure? And for those of you who are not familiar with it, the provincial government is reviewing this currently, our two-tier system, the number of municipalities that we have. So my question, the yes and no answer maybe I'm going to get, do you get the impression they are determined to change Niagara's governance structure?
I won't be able yes or no, but as close as I can get to it, the closest I can get to it. The committee that was sent around was asked to look at what changes will we make to make it easier for housing, if any, to make it easier for housing to be built. That was the whole focus of the committee. I know that provided an opportunity for those who have other ideas to share those ideas. My guess is, having watched what they're going through, what provincial governments have to go through, that they are likely going to listen carefully to what municipalities have to say before making any moves, and they will appreciate any initiatives being taken locally to make local government more effective and efficient before blowing it up.
Yep.
One example I'll give you is what happened in Peel. The Peel was going to be abolished, and then there was a change of mind. The region of Peel wasn't abolished when they saw all the problems that existed. And to their credit, they made the change when they saw that it wasn't going to work.
On our perspective, it has always been the sense that maybe the answer is not starting out what the model will look like, but the answer is actually in the shared services, in the service delivery that we can make improvements on. So from all of us, thank you so very much. And at this point, I'm going to hand it over to Rebecca Shelley, Executive Director of the Grimsby and District Chamber of Commerce, for some closing remarks. Rebecca.
Thank you, Mishka. As Mishka said, my name is Rebecca Shelley, and I have the distinct pleasure and privilege of serving Grimsby's business community as the Executive Director of the Chamber of Commerce. Thank you all for being here today. These are really important connections and conversations that need to continue to happen. Congratulations as well to the recipients of the Impact Awards. It's profoundly inspiring to see the high level of leadership from Niagara's communities, citizens, and businesses. Thank you also to Chair Bradley for taking the time to engage with us here today. Some pretty big issues got covered here today: mental health, layers of government funding, the budget, inflation, shared services, homelessness, housing and development, and so many more. As Chair Bradley mentioned, these important issues all intersect. There is no silver bullet. There are no quick fixes, unfortunately, that will solve these overlapping issues. But we can move the needle if we find ways to work together. Small ways, small actions have a tendency of snowballing unexpectedly into bigger actions and potentially even solutions. Innovation, best practices, partnership, collaboration are all themes that Chair Bradley used throughout his comments. Together, I would like to echo and reinforce his words about collaboration. Together we grow, together we adapt, and together we build better. Together we create change. I would also like to echo Mishka's comments about the connections and conversations happening here today. This leads me to a huge and heartfelt thanks to Mishka and her entire team at the GNCC for their generous partnership and collaboration. It's a fantastic opportunity to work together with our peers and business organizations across the region, and an incredible example of the power of together here in Niagara. A quick recognition as well of our event partners, the business associations from Niagara, the Greater Niagara Chamber of Commerce, the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce, the Niagara Association of Realtors, Niagara Construction Association, Niagara Home Builders Association, Niagara Industrial Association, there's a theme here, Niagara on the Lake Chamber of Commerce. And huge and heartfelt thanks to the generous sponsors who make it possible to bring an event of this magnitude to life. Today simply would not be possible without you. PenFinancial Credit Union, Electra Utilities, YMCA of Niagara Employment and Immigrant Services, Ridley College, Walker Industries, Algoma Central Corporation, Niagara College, Cron Electric, BCM Insurance, OTEC, the Ontario Tourism Education Corporation, Soundbox Productions, News Talk 610 CKTV, and John Michaels Banquet and Event Center. Sincere thanks to everyone involved in making the 2024 State of the Region happen today. Thank you again to you, our attendees, for being here, for being part of these conversations, and for taking your insights back to your own organizations. Thank you, and have a great day, everyone.